Hello, hi, this is Stephanie from Our Natural Wisdom. So good to be here with you again for another episode of my weekly Instagram Lives. I am an eco-intuitive coach and teacher, and I help women reclaim your peace through Mother Earth. Good morning, Kay. Hi, so good to see you. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Hello. Hello. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about the topic of tenderness. And I work with my clients a lot on cultivating practices that strengthen their self-compassion and working with Mother Earth in doing that. Very powerful work. And tenderness is really in the same flavor as self-compassion, but it feels distinct in a way. If you look at the dictionary, it says that tenderness is practicing love and kindness in a gentle way, which feels a lot like self-compassion, but there is something that is a bit more nurturing about it, right? When we think of tenderness, we think of how we treat babies or young children or baby animals, or people who are injured or sick. And I wanted to share an experience that I just have had that I'm still kind of working through, and how Mother Earth really brought me back to that power of tenderness, especially tenderness extended to yourself. This is something that we often forget to do. Good morning. Thanks for joining. We often, especially as women, as moms, as caregivers, we extend tenderness and nurturing and compassion to a lot of those around us, our families, the world, our communities. We often forget to extend it to ourselves. And so I just wanted to share with you a little experience that I just had. So last week I was hit in the eye. Actually, it wasn't in my eye. I was hit like right here on my orbital bone around my eye by a blunt object that was thrown in anger. And it was thrown, hi Aaron, thanks for joining. This object was thrown by my son, who is 5 and is on the autism spectrum. And this was unintentional. He definitely had no intention of injuring me, but it did. And he has one of his biggest challenges with his autism is self-regulation, and particularly around anger. He's really prone to throw things or swipe things when he's really feeling frustrated. He's made great strides in this department, huge strides in the last couple of years through therapy and lots of work that we've done here in the house. Good morning. Hi, everybody. So good to see you. So I wanted you to know that this was not done intentionally. He absolutely did not intend to hurt me, but he did. And I had a contusion on my orbital bone, and so everything got really swollen. It was very painful. It's pretty well healed at this point, but I was really black and blue, and I was in a lot of pain. I was also feeling a lot of sadness about the event. And after the initial shock wore off, and I learned from my doctor that nothing was fractured, so that was good, I knew that I needed to rest. So I really took the time, and I was able to, thankfully, rest during most of the day so that I could heal and ice my eye, my head. I keep saying eye, but it really was a head injury. And I was working through the sadness, but I was ruminating about what happened and how could it have been avoided and what could I have done differently. And then, of course, my mind, because I'm an anxious person, like I think a lot of you are, and perhaps that's why you're drawn to my work. My anxiety really started to take over, and I started to think about the future and, oh my gosh, if this just happened, what does this mean for my son and for myself and for our family? And, woo, you can really just spin off into so many directions. And so I was bouncing back and forth between focusing on the past, ruminating about that, all of the what should I have done different and how could have that been better, and all of the past stuff, and about the future. What if, what could happen? Oh my gosh, this is terrible, and this is predicting more awful things to come, and all of these wonderful things that our brains do when we are people that have anxiety. And when I was finally feeling better, and I took some time to get outside and spend some time in our gardens, which is always so healing, as you know, if you've followed my work, any time outside is so healing. And I really connected with that space, and I realized that in this time of healing, I was not in the present moment. I was not experiencing the importance of being connected to the present and being connected with the tenderness that I needed to extend myself at that time as I was healing. I really felt like I was lacking that tenderness, that like mothering, comforting kind of energy. And, sometimes this is the way it is. We need to mother ourselves. It is something that we need to learn how to do in order to extend ourselves love and compassion and tenderness. And as I was connecting with our garden space and realizing that for several days I had been very much living in the past or in the future and bouncing back and forth, I was not present. I was not being present to myself. I was not being present to my family, and especially to my son, who was really struggling with what had happened. He could see that I had been injured, right? He could see that he had hurt his mother, which was not at all what he wanted to do. He is such a loving, sweet, kind boy who happens to be on the autism spectrum and has issues, challenges with regulating his emotions, especially when things escalate, and he had a meltdown, and that is simply what happened. And so in my challenge of finding that presence and the tenderness that I needed to extend myself in the present moment, I had disconnected from my son especially, and helping him really heal from what had happened in his life too, because this was a difficult thing for him to experience. And I think as a lot of moms, if you're a mom, or just women in general, we can often set the tone for our households. Our energy has a tremendous impact on the energy of our household. And sometimes this can feel a bit of a burden, right? And I think that when we are, especially if we're injured or sick or, in a depressive mood or struggling in some way, yeah, you know how it is, that we forget to nourish ourselves in those times. And then it just like ripples out to our entire family, and it actually creates a dynamic that makes it even more difficult for us to heal, to extend ourselves that tenderness and that love and compassion. So it's a bit of a negative feedback loop. And when I realized that I really needed to stay in the present moment, to stay present to the hurt that I was experiencing, the trauma that I was experiencing, and to have compassion for myself for that, and to give myself that time and space to experience tenderness, to experience sending myself tenderness so that I could heal very well for myself and for my family. And the more as I started getting out more throughout the day and felt like I had the energy and wasn't so dizzy to walk around the garden space, I just felt Mother Earth kept bringing me back. Just come back to the present, come back to the present. because that is where the healing lives. The healing is not in the past, or it could be in the future, right? But we don't know. We know what is now. We know what is in front of us right now. And so I just kept feeling Mother Earth bringing me back there, helping me ground, helping me be present to all of the beautiful things that are surrounding us right now in spring. And in the last couple of days, I've actually been feeling well enough and had enough energy to get out and start piddling around in the garden a little bit and doing a little bit of spring cleaning. Because it's just time. We've had a lot of growth, and it's just time, especially to start cutting down the stems that I have left up all winter in our native garden. And yesterday, as I was doing that, I was really present to how tenderly I wanted to treat the stems that I was cutting down, because I knew that they could still use a little bit of time to rest. That is, the animals, the creatures, the beneficial insects that may still be in dormancy within the hollow stems, or even chrysalises or cocoons that may still be on these stems that have not quite emerged in the spring. This is a really important practice with our native gardens, to allow for a long process in the spring so that these insects can reemerge out of dormancy or emerge out of their cocoons. So as I was cutting these stems down and placing them carefully on a wheelbarrow, and then taking them to the back of our suburban yard and putting them against the fence, just carefully, placing them there, I was reflecting about how expressing tenderness to ourselves is totally connected with our ability to express tenderness to the world around us, including to nature, including to insects, to the smallest beings on the earth, and even, things that we don't necessarily consider to be living beings, like stones and rocks. That when we practice presence, it naturally brings us into a place of tenderness, where we are more easily able to access that within ourselves, and more easily able to express it to the world around us. And that tenderness, when people receive tenderness in their lives, you just know that it has made a difference for them. You feel how it is within yourself when you receive tenderness and compassion from others. And to be able to express it into the world is so powerful. I mean, what a resonant, just love and healing energy that we are sending out into the world. This vibration that the world so desperately needs right now. Love and kindness, gentleness, caring and compassion, tenderness. So beautiful. And I'm just so thankful that Mother Earth reminded me of that. So I encourage you to find ways to express more tenderness to yourself. I would love to take you through just a very brief guided meditation here to tap into the tenderness that lives within you and that is so accessible, especially when you are connecting with Mother Earth. So right now, I invite you to take some nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And feel how you are resting so beautifully and naturally and tenderly upon the earth. Feel how you are being held by Mother Earth in this moment. How she is extending you so much love and tenderness and support and compassion. And feel within your body, feel within your heart space, that ability to connect with tenderness. What brings tenderness to your to your energy? Is it expressing it to a tiny baby or a child or a companion animal or an aging loved one? Feel into how tenderness is so easy for you to access, especially when it is being given, extended to others. Feel how naturally you are drawn to do that. And I know that you have deep tenderness within you, especially because you have such a love for the earth, for all of nature. And as you are feeling that tenderness just coming up, upwelling within you, feel how that tenderness can be extended to all parts of you. Allow it to just flow all the way out through your body. Allow it to first flow through you so that you are extending yourself tenderness. As we know, we cannot pour from an empty pitcher, right? We need to resource ourselves. So important in this human life. So as you are expressing tenderness and love and compassion to others, become mindful of how in that moment, how powerful it is to let it flow through you. Don't just give it. Don't just put it out there. First, let it flow through you. Really experience it extending throughout your entire body, physical, your energy body, your spiritual body. And then allow yourself to express it to others. So Mother Earth is always welcoming you to first experience that presence, that tenderness in the present moment, and then allow it to flow out from you, because the earth, your beautiful soul, the divine, all know that it all starts with you. It all starts from inside, from within you. You are infinitely compassionate and tender and loving. Infinite amounts of healing potential live within you. And you have such great gifts to give the world, such great gifts to give nature. But first, you must give those gifts to yourself. So I welcome you to consider this practice just a very simple, mindful awareness as you are extending love and compassion and tenderness out into the world. Take just a few seconds to extend it to yourself as well. And this will make such a difference in your life. It will truly change your outlook. It will change your energy in tangible ways, ways that others around you will also benefit from. So I hope that you enjoyed this brief little teaching today about tenderness. There's so much that could be said about it, right? Oh, thank you, Kay. Yes, thinking about self-compassion. I'm glad you found this helpful. Always so important to come back to these practices for ourselves. So I hope that you enjoyed this, everybody. Again, I am an eco-intuitive coach, and if you are interested in learning more about my work, please click the link in bio. There is a free guide that you can receive and begin receiving my email newsletter as well. And I also offer free breakthrough sessions if you are interested in the power of eco-intuitive coaching in your life. So you can check those out by clicking the link in bio. I will be back again next week, but I will have to shift this to Friday morning just for the week. I have a conflict on Thursday morning, so our next live will be on Friday. Next Friday, I forget the date, next Friday at 10 a.m. Central. Thanks again, everybody. Oh, thank you so much. Sending love and kindness to you too. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.